Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Here tonight for playoff race number 9, the Overtake iRacing League Cup Series is set to square off and eliminate 4 more drivers. We're going to set the final 4, but it comes after a short track race at Bristol last week that some may say was limited in the way that we could shake up the points, but here tonight we're going to make it official. Live from the virtual Martinsville Speedway, live on VSPEED, Overtake iRacing League is going to bring flag-to-flag coverage in Virginia. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and tonight we're going to pull a few of those drivers up that are in this top 8. We're going to do a select few. We've got, of course, Yusuf Ghali, who needs no introduction. 7 wins this season. Then you have last but not least on this board here in the top 8 in points. You've got a driver that's in a must-win situation, as we put it up there. Brandon Holder is 42 points out, so we'll try to get some insight on some of these guys. We got about a 3.5 minute left in qualifying, so let's, without further ado, pull one of these guys up here and see what their opinion is on Martinsville. This is going to be one of those racetracks where you have to move the guy out of the way. It's very difficult to pass, and of course you guys saw this half-mile oval last night in the Xfinity Series, but it really is a driver's track, and you have to deal with the tempers, and even if you move a guy out of the way, you might end up seeing him on the next corner because it's so difficult to escape, and this track really does produce the short track racing that we know and love from NASCAR in the early years. But yeah, let's see if we can bring one of these guys up. First up on the list here, I think Brandon Holder, who's in this much needed win situation. We'll pull him up here after qualifying is pretty much done for most of these guys. Brandon Holder, it's Bradley Cooper up in the VSPEED booth. Do you got a copy?
No, I got you, buddy.
Well, Brandon, you're one of those cars out there. You're going to start up in the top 5, but you are in a must-win situation. And I don't know if anybody told you here tonight, but this is going to be one of those racetracks where anything can happen. What's your game plan coming in here to the paperclip?
No, hopefully just keep the nose clean until the end, and then you never know what can happen at the end.
Yeah, we definitely saw that last night there in the Xfinity Series. It came down to a green-white checkered attempt, and then coming across the stripe, a big wreck that put a driver that hadn't led the lap all day long into the win. Right place at the right time. Keep your nose clean. Anything else that you want to give away here before we go green?
No, I mean, that's just it. Just keep your nose clean. Don't make anybody mad, and just run your race is all you can do. But the points will fall where they may.
Don't make anybody mad. Good luck at this place tonight, Brandon.
Thank you, buddy.
And yeah, you were in Cornerstone, correct? Sorry about that.
Yes, sir.
Cornerstone Motorsports driver Brandon Holder. We have time for probably one more driver that we can pull up into this booth. We have a few guys that are officially not racing for points, but they are going to be part of the top. And it's the non-playoff drivers that will be racing for a prize here on their charter. And one of those drivers is Angelo Horonis, who we're going to pull up here from Ritz Racing. Angelo Horonis in the number 29 machine. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Angelo, tonight you're competing for the non-playoff drivers to get that charter and a little prize here. What is your mindset coming in here tonight? Martinsville, you're going to be starting in the top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is my second race at this track with this car, so need to gain some familiarity. I mean, main goal, at least before the stage, is just keep it clean. Don't run into anyone. Don't cause any cautions, and we'll see what happens after that.
It's kind of interesting. The same mindset for Brandon Holder as he was coming in talking to us. So you guys on that second row should be pretty good with each other. It's everyone in front of and behind you. How do you avoid that here? Place is just so tough to pass.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning laps of practice, I just kept locking it up. The brakes on these things, it's just much different compared to the B car that I'm used to. So it's just, I mean, don't even know best way to put it, but just trying to drive smart and hope everyone else around me does the same.
Well, good luck out there tonight, Angela. Maybe we'll get to talk to you post-race, buddy.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Ritz Racing driver Angelo Horonis in the 29. We have time for maybe one more here that we're going to pull up. Let's see if we can get your playoff leader here, Yusuf Ghali, and the number 45 dialed in. Yusuf Ghali, Bradley Cooper on the VSPEED booth. You got a copy? Oh, wow.
I'm sorry.
He's choking.
Yeah, I got you guys.
Yusuf, you all right there, buddy?
Getting over a little something here.
Not feeling too good today, but you're feeling pretty good on the start of this thing. You're going to start outside the front row. You're pretty locked in, but tonight's just one of those, do you hit the cruise control button or do you try to lock one more up before the playoffs?
I think the main button we're gonna hit is the try not to wreck someone and make them mad at me button. So we're gonna do that first, and if we're fast while trying not to wreck someone, we'll try to, go out there and get another win. I hope, just keep racking them up if we can. But other than that, main goal is just keep it clean and don't do anything stupid.
Yeah, everybody seems to be on the same page. We'll see how much chaos ensues from that. Yusuf Ghali, good luck tonight, and maybe we'll get to talk to you at the end of this thing.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Feel better, man. Feel better.
Yeah, we got 2 hours to do it.
It's racing driver in the number 45 and just under the weather there. I'm trying to get you back before you hack your brains out, buddy. There he is. Yeah, Yusuf Ghali. So let's take a track sign now. Get that grid up on the screen. Oh, it's contagious here. I just sneezed. Thank you, Yusuf Ghali. Got me sick through the mic. Starting on the pole here tonight with a 19.247. It's going to be Radburn Shutters in the number 44. Next to him, Yusuf Ghali in the 45. Fastest in practice. Oh, man. Just about sneezed again. Yusuf Ghali, actually Radburn Shutters fastest in practice here tonight. Moving on through, Angela Horonis starting third, Brandon Holder, some of the guys all through the top four that we talked to. Matt Grenier is going to start in the 5th position with Dave Farmer in 6th. 7th spot goes to James Silvers, Eric Hutton in 8th. Jonathan Cofield, one of the playoff hopefuls, fell out of the points there, missed last week, but he'll start in 9th, and AJ Stravato will round out your top 10. Cody Anderson will begin in 11th position tonight. Daniel Cunningham, after a tough break last night in the Xfinity Series, he'll start in 12th. Excuse me? Oh, man, that's bad. Trying to keep it together. Blake Hensley in 13th. Nick Mills in 14th position. Max Koss, first time out here for the Overtake iRacing League, will start in 15th position. And shown on the screen here is Drew Prale, but he will not grid here tonight at Martinsville. So for 250 laps here tonight from the Martinsville Speedway, stage break at lap 100, Radburn Shutters is going to lead them into turn number 1. Here tonight from Martinsville for playoff race number 9, it's green flag and we're underway. Shows how hard it is to pass here. The 44 of Shutters able to close the door on Yusuf Ghali and keep him at bay. He will lead lap number 1, coming around for number 2. And this field has single filed out relatively quickly. You have to go all the way back to AJ Stravato, who's going by, and the 58 of Jonathan Cofield inside of, I believe that's David Farmer. Little contact there with the fender, but he will get clear and move up to the 9th position. Back up front, Yusuf Ghali trying to get that dig off the corner. Everybody on the same page in the pre-race interviews. Let's try not to make guys mad. Let's take our time and find out if we're fast after a few laps. And it looks like the 45 already starting to find that groove. However, it's going to be a difficult pass. Speeding on pit road, going to be another factor here tonight. Of course, we talked a little bit about Martinsville, but we didn't quite get into the race analytics for tonight. 250 laps, of course, and stage break at 100. 5 sets of tires here. Should be plenty, barring that we don't have a lot of yellows. Guys will get mixed up on the strategy Front two have pulled away from Angelo Horonis by about 0.7 of a second now as they come out of turn 2. Pit road speed limit is at 35 miles per hour. You have the entire backstretch to decide if you're going to pit, but you have about a sliver to actually get the car onto pit road. So you want to hope that nobody locks it up on your inside there as you try to cut across. Definitely end up being a statistic here at this racetrack. Back here for 6th position, James Silvers has AJ Stravado working to the inside. Little bumper tag here as they go into turn 3. Now back into turn 1, you can see this spread amongst the top 5, the front 2, and then back to Brandon Holder, who we talked to in the pre-race. Must-win situation for the 9 car. He's got a lot of points to make up, but a win would lock him in. John Schwartz not here tonight in the chat. I saw that. According to Alex Penn in the chat right now, Holder can actually get a stage win and get 2nd. But he has to have Cofield finish last tonight, so that's a big if right there. I think a win is pretty much the only guarantee here tonight. Yeah, it's going to be a weird night for points, and you're going to need some of these drivers to just completely fall off the earth for them to not get in. But again, going back to, you've only got a handful of guys that have won here in the postseason. Yusuf Galik really turning up the heat, and actually AJ Stravado is still trying to get around Silvers. That opened up the door for Eric Hutton. Top 10 has not changed hands too much. AJ Stravado is actually the biggest mover in this entire race. Everyone else is pretty stagnant. 8th position here where Hutton started. Cofield back up to where he began. Dave Farmer has fallen out of the top. Well, he's in the top 10, but he's fallen 4 positions back from where he began this race tonight, up in 6th spot. A lot of ground to make back up. Front 2 starting to pull away some more. About a full second from Angelo Horonis. They're right on top. Bumper to bumper into turn 3. Riding on board now with Yusuf Ghali. And so the art of the bump and run, right there where that arrow is, on the back of that 44, dead center, is about the place you would want to touch, maybe a little bit to the left to wiggle them up and set your pass after the fact. But you can see how close these guys are every single lap. It doesn't take much to just brake a little bit later or let it roll through the center a little bit longer, and you very easily can connect that bumper, lift the guy up out of the way. As opposed to the older Cup cars, where they had very rounded front ends, you can almost jackknife guys up off the track. This car, a little more resilient. It's a little harder to move guys out of the way. You really got to get into them and give them a good shove, and we have a yellow flag. Looks like Cody Anderson loses it into turn 4 here. All right. Let's go back on the VSPEED instant replay. Find out exactly. Looks like Cody might have just lost it on its own here. Locks it up just a little bit there, deeper into the corner. Sometimes you can late brake on these cars to get really light and slide all the way into the entry, and by the time you get back to the throttle, it's too late. One more time here, we'll go on board on the gyro camera, backing up a little bit more. We'll show you what Cody Anderson has happening here. You don't really feel too much with this independent rear end. He's on the brakes as he normally would be, but right here, just a little bit too much of a stab to get back, get the nose set, and sends it around on lap 17. So now an interesting stint for some of these guys. Yes, limited tire sets, but will some of them come down pit road? Look back through this field a little bit. No takers as of yet. Anderson probably, looks like Nick Mills is going to come down as well, but to say definitely Cody Anderson will bring it down pit road here after a little slip up on the tires, and after he hits his pit stop, we'll bring up the 42 of Cody Anderson and ask him how this car's handling. Just wait here momentarily so we don't interfere with the intro and exit of pit road. Drivers have to pay close attention. So now we'll bring up the 42. Cody Anderson in the broadcast booth. Bradley Cooper, you got a copy?
I got you.
It's a little bit of a struggle bus here. It looked like a late stab to the brakes just sent this thing around. How hard is it to even detect that that's happening in these cars?
Well, that's with the downshift, and you think you get slowed up enough, and if you start pushing up the track just a little bit, you got to throw some back into it. And I just put a little bit more pressure than I thought I needed, and it just took the back of the car around, and tried to get going before the caution came out, but no luck.
Oh, I didn't realize we were going to go back green that fast, so good luck out there, Cody.
Thank you.
Back live here. Short caution. Was expecting a little bit longer there on the pace lap, but we had a quick yellow, and we're back live here on VSPEED, lap 21. About to begin 22 as they cross the line. Cody Anderson tagged the wall there briefly. Here's Blake Hensley, who struggled there last night. Had a lot of problems touching the curb. Looks like he's cleaned it up pretty well here as he gains 3 spots, gets around Brandon Holder, and moves up another position. These restarts will set up a lot of passing. If you can get to the inside and stay there into turn 3, you're usually going to get away with a spot. And that's what you'll see all race long. But what you didn't see, Angelo Horonis was able to get around Yusuf Ghali on that last one. Had good momentum going into turn 1, got to the inside. He followed right along the tracks of Radburn Shutters. And all over the back bumper again, Yusuf Ghali putting the pressure on the 29. This, of course, is a teammate in Ritz Racing. Horonis is going to try to go up there and tackle the tall task of Shutters, who was fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying. His average speed high up on the charts here. But as this track starts to rubber in, you're going to see guys overshooting this runway. It's essentially 2 drag strips with turns connecting them. And you'll see the slide through that the 42 had moments ago happen more and more frequently, especially when these guys are trying to outbrake one another into the corner. Riding on board with Matt Grenier. Led some laps there a few weeks ago. The 15 car dialing it up, sitting in the top 5. Misses a shift here. And that actually allowed Silvers to peek to the inside. Don't want to make that mistake too many times. That 17, kind of like a shark. Sense any kind of weakness, a little blood in the water, he'll definitely pounce on it. Cofield overshoots the exit. That allows Eric Hutton to the inside for 7th. Now opens up the door for Farmer as well. The 58 falling through this field now. Back to where he began. He's still fighting with more contact with the 84. But Farmer ultimately going to pass, and oh, look at the dive there from Hensley. He's going to keep the 58 from getting to his line. Contact out of 4. Hensley backs it up. Almost gets into the back of him there. On board with the 31 car. And Blake definitely shows speed, especially on the short run, but seems to be that as the run progresses, this car, you can see how deep he's driving. Actually, Cofield disappears there for just a moment. That could have been bad for the 58. But as you can see, he's diving and rolling a little bit deeper. He's not downshifting into the corner. Probably keeping it in 4th gear all the way around this place. Back up front, Horonis keeping pace. He didn't show this speed in the first stint of 18 laps. But here we are, about to tack another 18 onto this stint. And he's keeping pretty good speed with Shutters. He's lost him a little bit here. 45 of Yusuf Ghali probably going to get a little impatient here as this time ticks on. So very careful driving here from Yusuf Ghali, not to get into the back of his teammate, but he does have to get going if he wants a shot at that 44. He was keeping pace with him earlier. Hronis could hold him up a little bit. Then you see Stravato back here in the backdrop. This is a short track king. We haven't talked a lot about him here in the Overtake iRacing League, but he definitely has been successful in other leagues we've seen here on VSPEED. VTDY and Saturday Night Racing League, AJ Stravato is definitely a force to be reckoned with. I look to see this 33 car up in the top 5, or up in the top 3 rather, before this is all said and done. He'll definitely be there when it matters most. He's already gained 6 spots, so that should show you the speed that this 33 car has. There goes Yusuf Ghali around Angelo Hronis. Looked like a little communication. Hronis might have let him go there out of the exit to 2. The 45 is going to try to chase down the 44 Bradford Shutters now. 35 laps complete. Go deeper into the field. Brandon Holder. Back bumper of Blake Hensley here. Looking like this field has gotten a little stagnant, starting to tick the laps away. We talked to this guy a little bit pre-race off the air. Nick Mills talked about how this was not how he predicted the race to start. He had tried to design for his practice session and reenact the best conditions that were going to be similar to the race, and the lap time's completely off for the 88 here tonight. Not feeling confident. He's currently running in the 14th position, but the 88 car, part of the Ritz Racing team that you saw up towards the front, having a little struggle here tonight. I'll have to wait and see if he can find the speed, as this track will rubber in. Probably in another 25 laps or so, you're going to see a really dark shade on that concrete strip through these turns. James Silvers working on Matt Grenier. Eric Hutton just behind Silvers. This is 5th through 8th position. Farmer also in this hunt. Trying to get back to the top 5 positions, where he was just in there for a glimpse but fell out relatively quickly and could just be saving the tires. Everybody out here, with the exception of Nick Mills and Cody Anderson, is on this 40-lap stint. Max Cost having a tough time, but he will get to the inside of Cody Anderson here for 14th. You see the brake rotor glow on the rear end. Some of these guys will calibrate their brake bias. Even though it's a fixed setup, you can adjust the steering ratio and brake bias on these cars. Prior to joining the session, you can get in there and change things, but once you're in the race, it's a little more difficult. You can dial it a little bit in each direction, but you can't quite make the same adjustment, so you're kind of stuck within a threshold. Looking like a lot of rear brake for the 44. Back here to Yusuf Ghali, it looks like he's kind of on the same page. You can see that back rotor glowing a lot here. Trying to get a zoomed in angle of the 45. Watch them as they go through this corner. You actually see them lock up that rear tire, but you can see the brake glow there just below that Milstein shock logo. The yellow flag is out. Looks like Cody Anderson has another problem. This time pulls it to pit road. VSPEED instant replay, the 42. It's going into turns 3 and 4 again. He actually has a blinking issue there briefly. Up out of the way. Max Costi got back around Max, and he blinks. He actually, I'm not really sure what that was. It looks like hardware failure for the 42. brings us back to a live shot here. Will we see takers down pit road this time? We're right about that mark where I would think maybe some takers here. Nobody's gonna do it. I got a few guys that came down. Blake Hensley in. Like James Silvers, Yusuf Ghali, all came down pit road. So a few drivers electing to take 4 tires. So this will split this field in half. So far, it's been a good one. We've had some green flag runs of about 30 laps each. Take a quick commercial break here on VSPEED. The Overtake iRacing League Cup Series. We'll be back right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live from Martinsville. Green flag is back out on lap number 50. Radburn Shutters trying to play defense. He has AJ Stravano and Angelo Horonis 2x2 all the way through this field. Pressure tires in the back. Someone's loose. That was Daniel Cunningham that goes sideways into turn 4. And another yellow comes out on lap 51. Cunningham, who had started up in the 10th position here tonight, or 12th position rather, falls back to 14th. Go back on the VSPEED instant replay, see if he had any help. This is turns 1 and 2, so it's the next side of this racetrack. A little check up there. It looks like he got up out of the groove, up onto that asphalt surface, and a little less banking up there, a little flat, and just slides it around. Minimal damage on that 08 though. It shouldn't hurt him too bad, and he should be good to go. Jonathan Cofield is going to bring it down pit road now. Looks like Dave Farmer as well. So we still have 5 cars that have yet to pit. Radburn Shutters, of course, being one of those cars. Let's bring up Shutters here while we have a chance. Radburn Shutters, Bradley Cooper up in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Sorry if we were talking strategy there, but let's talk about the race so far. 52 out of the 53 that we've started here. You're looking really stout. A little bit fresher tires deep in the field. Are you worried?
Yeah, I'm slightly worried, but hopefully we can just get a good jump and roll out to a second lead and keep it about like that for a little bit. It's going to be tight coming to the doing another 47 laps with guys on fresh tires behind us, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, you, of course, are in one of those situations where a must-win kind of here or there. Like, there can be points, but then it's a lot of what-ifs, and a win here tonight would just guarantee and seal the deal.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. If we can avoid the carnage, that'd be all right.
Well, you're in the right place, getting ready to go back green. Good luck out there, and maybe we'll be talking to you in victory lane tonight.
Sounds good. Thank you guys. See you.
That is Radburn Shutters in the 44. Cornerstone Motorsports getting ready to go back green and lead them into turn 1. Of course, you've got Yusuf Ghali, Blake Hensley, James Silvers, everyone from 6th place on back on fresh tires now. Some even fresher ones at 13th and 14th position, but up at the front. 54 laps about 35 of those under green flag. And speaking of that, green flag is back out. We're live at Martinsville, lap 55. And already it's single filed out there for the second position. But Yusuf Ghali on those fresher tires works to the outside of James Silvers. Now going to dive to the back of Angelo Horonis. All these cars in front of the 45. Well, they're about 50 lap older tires as he goes to the inside for third. Yusuf Ghali on his way to the lead. Angelo Horonis way outside the groove there on the exit of turn 4. He allowed the 17 of Silvers to get by as well. Silvers also on the same tires. He should power through this field. Let the 45 carve a hole. Side by side back here with Eric Hutton. This is for 5th spot. 29 is going to hold on to it as of now, but not as fast on the exit. Here comes Ghali to the inside of Stravado. Stravado a little wiggly loose. He gets it back under him, but he's going to get close to the wall on the exit. Loses 2 spots. Now the next one that's about to be under fire. Shutters said he was a little bit worried. This could all cycle back out for the 44. And he probably needs this race to stay green for that to balance out. It's a lot of cars that haven't hit, or that have hit pit road comparatively. And on the outside, side by side down the front stretch, Shutters leads that time by, but just by 9,000ths of a second. And he fights back on the inside. He is keeping the pressure on Yusuf Ghali. But there he goes, launches out of turn 4, new leader. 45 car, this time around, lap 60. And there comes James Silvers, a teammate to the 44. He'll pick up the second position, snaps it free on the front stretch. And that's another yellow flag. He just gets loose, running to the inside of his teammate in the 44. And that's enough to send him around. Trying to find reverse here to get it turned back around, but we watched that in real time. Trying not to go a lap down. He was up to second, back to 13th. There he goes to the inside. It looks like he's clear. He could have came up, but he snaps it free. And Silvers, unfortunately, loses all that ground. You see all those cars passing him. It's back to 13th for James Silvers after hitting pit road. Now you got to go back to the drawing board here. Tough break for the 17 car. Shutters hits pit road, of course. Angelo Horonis, pretty much the remainder of this field that had not yet hit the pit road, 64 laps in. They're going to come down, and this should give some of those spots back to James Silvers if he elects to stay out. However, those tires are probably flat spotted, and it's going to be a little bit of a rough go here. 17 is going to have to gain some of that ground back. So we'll get set to double back up here momentarily. So I just want to shout out, I'm currently enjoying a beverage, and that goes to this guy right here. Actually got the, what appears to be the phase pop on this machine tonight, but I always appreciate the Ghost Energy machine and the 08 of Daniel Cunningham. Unfortunately, last night, just not a good time, and he's going to have to say what could have been as we go into the final weeks, and we'll be going to Charlotte there, I believe, in the Xfinity Series, if I'm correct, and well, here after tonight for the Cup Series, it'll be Nashville Super Speedway. I want to re-clarify, make sure I wasn't incorrect about that. It'll actually be for Phoenix in the Xfinity Series. Charlotte for the trucks. So next Monday, yours truly will be hosting that up here in the broadcast booth. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. You'll never miss a single race. We come up to the last race of the inaugural season of the Overtake iRacing League. They've put on a great show. Cup Series, of course, kind of dominated by this guy. He really turned it up there in the last 7 or 8 races, and now here, race number 9. Yusuf Ghali is the guy to beat when we go into the final week at Nashville. Brandon Holder doing what he needs to do. He's worked his way up into the top 3. 10 positions gained for the 31 car back there. Blake Hensley up to 3rd now. So a little flip-flop here in the top 5. Nick Mills finds himself up to 5th. Pace car out of the way. This will be the 5th time that we go green here from Martinsville. Just one lead change. Will we see another one? Lap 68 underway. Green flag's out. We're back into turn 1. Great jump there for the 45. And Blake Hensley going to work. He's inside of Dave Farmer out of turn 2. Cut off of the nose there for Mills. Still has a car to the outside. He opens up the door for AJ Stravato. He's going to keep it open. Stravato on the outside, going to dive it into turn 3, going to try to work his way back towards the front. The 33 car up to the top 5 again. Deja vu, car in the wall back there. That's the 29 of Angelo Horonis. A little bit of a lock up there. Radburn shutters, goes a little bit sideways, wiggles out of the groove. Trying to get around the 88 of Nick Mills on the outside line. You see a pinch down there on that entry. That's to prevent the 88 from getting back to the throttle. And actually open up the door for Silvers, who's on the freshest tires in this field right now. He's going to get to the inside of his teammate, try to get by. I believe that's the 7th position. Just can't quite get clear. Remember last time the 17 was inside of the 44. He went sideways. He's going to hold it together this time by. Yusuf Ghali has checked out, though, to Brandon Holder. The top 3 have spread out. Oh, contact back there. Stravato gets into the door of Blake Hensley. This is for 4th. And a car back there sliding around. That's Silvers again, but he saves it. Back on the VSPEED instant replay here. This is going to be coming out of turns 3 and 4 for the 17, and we got another yellow flag. Looks like Blake Hensley lost it here. But then we'll go back to a live shot. There's the 17 getting loose. Let's go back to a live shot and find the 31 machine. He's going to be the culprit of this caution on lap 74. And, I mean, we saw some contact between him and the 33. And he just overdrives the exit of turn 4, snaps it free. And another yellow here tonight. A lot of single car spins. Not a lot of damage. There hasn't been a lot of carnage, and there hasn't been guys helping each other around. It's just been a lot of self-spin, lack of grip here tonight, and it's hard to control these things. Just an update here from Alex Penn. Due to Cody Anderson DNFing from this race tonight, this puts Brandon Holder now in a must-win scenario. What I talked about earlier, where there was a lot of what-ifs, well, one of those what-ifs happened, and it's now caused an absolute guarantee that the 9 has to get up there and win this race. Of course, he's got one thing standing in his way, the driver that led 17 laps now. And your second most laps led go to this guy who's working his way back up into the top 5. Led the most laps so far, but Yusuf Ghali has not had anyone challenge the 45 just yet. Lights will stay on the pace car. This gives us an opportunity here. Bring another driver up into the broadcast booth. Dave Farmer, it's Bradley Cooper in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy.
Dave, this thing looks like a handful. We've seen a number of guys, a lot of self-spinning out here. How difficult is it to just predict what this car is going to do tonight?
I mean, it's normal. I think after the second or third caution, everybody decided to get a little more aggressive than normal, and now we're just in the cautions, pre-caution stage. The car doesn't drive bad, honestly. It is a little loose on exit off of turn 4, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's to be expected. This racetrack notorious for that, and you know they've kind of compared it to 2 drag strips connected by turns. Well, what is your opinion on Martinsville? Is it one of the tracks that you like to come to, or is it just another one on the schedule?
Yeah, I like coming here. I'm usually pretty good. Sitting in P3 right now, so it's a track that's usually good to me. It's unfortunate a lot of times you get caught up in other stuff, so you know, got to stay up front and hopefully you can keep your nose clean. But I enjoy the track, and a lot of guys don't really care for it, but I enjoy the challenge. And this car is a challenge at this track. You got to wait on the throttle and get off the brakes.
Well, good luck out there as we get ready to double back up. Let's see if you can get up there and get the lead.
Thank you, sir.
Dave Farmer in the number 84. He'll be restarting in the 3rd spot. So here we go. Set back to go green. Yusuf Ghali, Brandon Holder, the front row. Dave Farmer, AJ Stravato, and your pole sitter, Radburn Shutters in 5th. Race recap up on your screen. The 6th time today we will go back green here on lap 81. We approach the halfway point of this race and our first stage break in 20 laps. Here's a shootout for stage points. Ghali into turn 1. And there stands side by side behind him. Holder has company on the inside. Here comes Stravato on the outside. A little bit fresher tires for the 33. Gets loose, cuts off the nose of Shutters. In contact with Hronis, gets moved up the bank by the 44. The 9 of Holder can't hold on to second. Looks like the 84 Farmer is going to take it away. Farmer definitely seeing those fresh tires in his rearview mirror. They peak 3 wide. That's not going to work at Martinsville, but sometimes you just get thrown into a situation. Stravato into the 9 car. And another yellow is out here on lap 83. That one might be on the 33 car. He slid up into the door, and that one had help. Not the situation that Brandon Holder wanted to be in. I mean, we'll allow you guys in chat there to decide. But we'll back it up one more time from the blimp camera. I think Stravato just slides it in a little bit too deep there. A little bit too high on the entry, and in his defense, he did have the 44 all over the back bumper. We'll watch here going into turn 1. That's really all it takes. And the 33 of Stravato will most likely get an EOL for that. Just a slight little misjudgment there on the entry of the corner. He'll bring it down pit road and it's a restart here at the tail end. But Yusuf Ghali, Dave Farmer, Radburn Shutters. Now we're mixing up 39 lap old tires, 22 lap old tires. Then you have Nick Mills back there in 9 lap old tires. A couple guys came back down pit road to top off with fuel. This is a toss-up here. We're approaching that stage break. Lap 86 about to be complete. It's going to be about a 10-lap shootout here to lap 100 if we can make it there. Guys, very aggressive for the stage points, but if you look at the field, only 14 cars, so more than half of these guys are guaranteed some form of stage points. The problem is that if you don't have a yellow banner on the top of that windshield, it doesn't mean anything here tonight. You absolutely want to try to get up there in the top 10 if you got a yellow playoff berth here. 8 drivers in this field. We're going to eliminate it down to 4. Double back up. We will have 13 laps to go. As we try to get to stage number 2. 7th time today, we will go green. Electing to start on the outside this time. Down the drag strip, into that restart zone. Down and away on the loud pedal. Yusuf Ghali into turn 1. Gets out to another great start. Shutters tries to get clear of the 84, gets loose coming out of turn 4. Slides up in front of Eric Hutton. Hutton gives him a little tag on the bumper, actually sends him to the inside of Farmer. They're side by side for second. Shutter's gonna dive down deep into 3. He will clear the 84. Here comes Hutton now for third. Loose off the exit. Freight train on the inside of the 84. He's falling fast. A lot of fresh tire cars. Lock up on the brakes there for Silvers. Car way up the track. Matt Grenier out of turn 2. Almost tags the wall. Cuts off the nose of Brandon Holder. Holder trying to work his way back to the top 10. One more spot here. Farmer locks up the brakes. Loses 2 more spots. Falls out of the top 10. He's right on the edge of it. 10 laps to go here. Yusuf Ghali in the lead. Some passing going on just in front. Angelo Herodes gets passed up by Silvers. Jonathan Cofield back on the move. To the outside of Nick Mills for 6th. Can't quite get clear of him here. As they go into 3 and 4, pitches down on the entry. Sideways for Cofield, he loses it off of 4. Another yellow is going to come out on lap 93. And the aggression continues here at Martinsville for caution number 7. Brief little kiss there with the inside wall as he loses the rear end of this machine. This is going to set us up to a really tight, I don't know if I agree with this. Yusuf Ghali came down pit road. Will that set the stage or not? I'm not sure. I have to get an official word from one of these guys to let me know if that's, I don't think that's the stage here. At 95, they surely could get the restart here and have a brief little shootout, but didn't quite get the top 10 on that. If it does stand as the stage, Yusuf Ghali would have won that, but if it's not, he came down pit road and I don't know, maybe he thought that taking tires was more important than these stage points here. I mean, he is on the top here, locked in for the final 4, so to wait and see what the official word is on that. Alex Penn in the chat, if you could give me any information on that, I would be eternally grateful. Curious to see how this would all shake out. She had a few drivers that, if that stood, are down pit road, and so I'd have to figure that all out. We're doubling back up. Looks like we're going to run it out. I think we're going to have 2 to go here to the stage. Based off my map. So we're going to have a quick shootout here on lap 98 to lap 100. An essential green-white checker. We have a yellow before then. We'll freeze the field, and that will be your stage for round number 1 of this race. Second to last race of the season. Radburn Shutters needs all the points he can get. Can he seal the deal? Green flag back out, electing to start on the inside. Caught Eric Hutton sleeping on this restart. The 17 of Silvers goes with him. Nick Mills gets a dive to the inside for third. Sideways off of turn 2. We keep it going. White flag about to come out here for the stage. 3 wide back here. Yusuf Ghali sends it into the corner. Off of the exit. Car in the wall. That's the 08. White flag in the air. Still 3 wide back here. Servato pinched in the middle. The 29 of Heronis into the wall, but off of turn 4, it's going to be Radburn Shutters getting the victory for stage number 1. Nicely done there for the 44. We thought he was in trouble, but the cautions fall and puts himself back in a good spot. Dave Silvers works his way back up to second for that stage. And there's your top 10 on the left-hand side of your screen as we approach pit stops. One more time, we'll pop it back up there. Yusuf Ghali worked his way back to 5th here. He'll elect to stay out. So here we go. 4 tires for every car that you see coming down here. 2 cars electing to stay out. Yusuf Ghali and Brandon Holder. Actually got Dave Farmer out there as well. So the top 3 will change hands. There's the 17 getting service. Brandon Holder, of course, back out on the racetrack still. Down and away for Nick Mills. Angelo Heronis, Radburn Shutters in his stall. Still getting service on the 44. He'll get 4 fresh ones and come back out in about the 9th position. Don't go anywhere. We have a second stage of racing to do. Our remaining 145 laps when we come back green here from Martinsville, Virginia. You're watching the Overtake iRacing League Cup Series playoff race number 9 on VSPEED. Back here live from Martinsville. The green flag about to go back out as Yusuf Ghali gets back up to the front. A few drivers that were up in the top 5 came down pit road. Then stage 1 winner, the 44 Radburn Shutters, but we're back underway and the aggression level has not subsided at all. These guys still side by side. driving off, a little loose there for Holder. Stravato to the outside for second spot. James Silvers, who got second in that last stage, running in fourth. He led him off pit road. No problem there in the pits for Shutters. He had 48.2 down the lane. Not exactly sure what caused that, as we have a couple cars making contact with each other. Angelo Horonis and Eric Hutton touched doors into 3 and 4. Stravato still not, there he goes, he's clear now, but Holder was trying to get around him for a couple laps. He will dive to the inside, has to go chase down Yusuf Ghali now. Must-win situation for the 9 of Holder. How bad do you want it if you're the 9 car? And then it also goes back to how bad do you want it for Radburn Shutters. He's the last on this cutoff line. Pretty much, well, he's actually 6th in points, but he could get up here and get the win, lock himself in. 24 points out when we came in here today. Update here. Shutters -2, Cofield -5. Silvers is a must-win. Holder is a must-win. So Shutters 2 points out after that stage win. He can get up here a couple more spots. As they run right now, he needs 2 positions. Little tag on the bumper there on the 88 of Mills. Nothing quite yet here as far as passing goes. These guys have settled down tremendously compared to that first 100 laps. This, of course, has to go all the way to the end for it to count. Some of these guys can get up here and get a lap led, and I think Brandon Holder in this situation of a must-win. But, you know, it wouldn't hurt to try to lead some laps. Prove to these guys that you can. And he has shaved about 3/10 off the lead. He has AJ Stravato right behind him, following suit on the speed last time by. The 2 fastest cars on the racetrack, James Silvers, AJ Stravato. So Shutters must beat Mills by 2 spots here. Right now, as it sits, Shutters is right behind the 88. We saw a little tag on the bumper there earlier, but Mills holding on to the outside for the 44. This is for the 6th spot. 7th spot, rather. Shutters not able to get around. He has Cofield peek to the inside there briefly. A lot of times when we saw side by side in this race here tonight, guys have gotten loose and sideways. Shutters is going to have to be ultra careful. Wants to make quick work of the 88, but good run out of turn 2. He's going to be door to door as they enter 3. You don't get quite as good of a run out of the exit of 4 as you do off of 2. Car sideways, that's Farmer in the 84. He saves it. Falls back to 6th. And car sideways, that's Cofield in the 58. That might... We're going to stay green. Oh, boy. Let's unpack all of that. So here's the 84. This will be the first incident that we see on the instant replay. He's going to get really loose coming out of turn 4. Snap it down all the way down the front stretch. Chases. Nicely done there. And then we'll go back to the 58 of Cofield. And he just gets up out of the groove, gets sideways, gets sent back straight by Grenier. Back to a live shot. On the outside, Radburn Shutters trying to get 2 positions between him and Mills. He's got 1 now. Mills falls back to 8, up to 6 for Radburn. Brandon Holder has pulled away, or Yusuf Ghali has pulled away from Brandon Holder. Holder has fallen back to Yusuf Ghali. James Silvers, AJ Stravato on the back bumper here. racing left to be done, but we are at the halfway point here in this race. Perfect opportunity here on VSPEED. If you have a volume knob on that smart device or a remote control somewhere in the house, then the kids haven't lost it. Let's get loud here on VSPEED for a few laps. Hear the sounds around Martinsville. Loud here on VSPEED, and these cars, of course, the highest power and speed-wise that we've seen here at Martinsville thus far. A little bit dialed back there for the Cup car as of late, but still a little bit more horsepower than the trucks, and it's just been a little bit difficult here tonight to get that contacted to the pavement and get good grip, good exit speed. Looks like Yusuf Ghali's got it figured out, though, as he pulls out 1.4 seconds over Brandon Holder. AJ Stravado back in third. Don't count him out. Master at saving the tires to try to pull up there. Also, James Silvers has been impressive here today. Hasn't led any laps, but he's been in the top 5 since about lap 50. He's holding it down out there. Silvers looking stout. Playoffs in the top 4. On the move here for the 17. Quick look back at that points battle coming in here too tonight. Silver's in 7th, but another must-win situation for the 17 car. He's in striking distance. Of course, Holder also in that boat. Shutters pretty much on that line. He's very close here. We're getting updates. Shutters is +1, Mills is -1. So right now, if it finished the way it did, currently Shutters in the 6th position. Mills has fallen back to 9th. But yeah, this is the playoff picture, and those top 4 drivers, it's very tight coming in here. Jonathan Cofield also in a weird spot. Of course, he's been having blinking issues all night long. You see this field has spread out tremendously. 118 laps to go. So Yusuf Ghali is approaching lap traffic here momentarily. You see him coming into turn 3. We just saw Cofield and a few others coming out of turn 4. Battle for second starting to heat up a little bit, though. Stravado has caught Holder. Silvers also has Hutton on the back bumper for 4th. Second through fifth position here has been pretty tight. Yusuf Ghali running away with the lead a little bit. Got some fresher tires back here, though, and this kind of surprises me. We only had about 2 laps on the heat cycle, but here at Martinsville, that's enough to really upset the car. Golly, benefiting from that clean air. Brandon Holder, he's in hang-on mode. He probably has the speed to keep pace with these guys, but as soon as Stravato gets to the inside, it could be pretty much over for a top 3 position. He has to hold on here as long as he can. This should even out. I would suspect that these guys will split the run in half. They'll probably all pit relatively together. But you might see Holder stretch it out a little bit to try to get an advantage over Gali. I'm curious to see what the strategies will be here, as we went clean and green now for about 35, 36 laps. Back here with Shutters, who is +1 in the good right now. He's actually probably a little bit more than that now that we saw Cofield in. Looks like with Max Cost dropping out of the race here, this might change things a little bit. According to Alex Penn, all the 44 has to do here tonight is be ahead of Mills, so long as the 88 doesn't lead or get the fastest lap here. Check on Nick Mills back in the 11th position here. Going to lose another spot to Jonathan Cofield, so it's progressively getting worse for the 88. Anything can happen here. On board with Stravato. Still hasn't found a way around Holder. They've lost about 3.5 seconds to your leader, Yusuf Gali. You know the 33 wants to get around this 9 car as soon as possible. Cutting also in this mix for playoff contentions. Here goes a pass. Finally, Stravato figures out a way around the 9. That opens up the door, and there's the freight train I was worried about. 3 cars in 1 turn almost. And Holder falls back to the 5th position. .4 seconds. Last time by Stravato, even lap times, 19.974. Looks like he loses a couple tenths here this time around. Gali puts down a 19.845. Stravato has a 19.886, so not that much. Give a little, take a little. That's what you got to do here at Martinsville. Earlier in this race, we saw guys taking a lot. Yusuf Gali took it 3 wide. Gets a little loose here off the corner here for Stravato. That time around, he is slower by about a full 10. Right on board with Yusuf Gali. Watch how to get around Martinsville. Stravato has a similar line here. Watch, he'll hug the bottom just as similar as the 45 rather. Speaking of the 44 though, back in 5th. They'll be working on the back of Aaron Cutton here shortly. He's a little bit faster that last time by as he works towards the front of the pack. Angelo Horonis keeping pace with the 44 though. Lock up on the brakes there for somebody. On board with your 66 laps led pole sitter, trying to find his way back to the front. He won the stage. That should put him in a good situation here to wrap my head around all the different shakeups in the points. A big shakeup that we failed to announce in the truck series, if you pay any attention to that, Lucas Lyons misses the top 4. He came into that race the leader, but failed to finish in the top 10 for the stage and finished 15th in the race. Lost the points lead going into the final race. He will be in 5th as the final tally hits. And now the 48 outside looking in. And that's what happens if you can't lock yourself in with a win. Sometimes you point your way out. Unfortunate there for the 48, but always next season. Yusuf Ghali has caught some lap traffic. It's teammate Nick Mills in the 12th spot. 100 laps, just a little less than that. 95 to go when they cross the stripe. So now we're approaching that stint. When do you pit? These guys can stretch it out another 20 laps. They'll be about even. They can make it to the end. If not, they'll have to bring it down 2 times. If they can't make it to this 70 lap mark in the 45 of Yusuf Ghali, not sure exactly on the fuel, but will he make it? AJ Stravado has lost another half second, but pulled away a little bit from James Silvers. Half a second separate him and the 17. On board with Eric Hutton. Trying to hold things together and get a top 5 here for the 87. That's really all he needs to do. Of course, you're seeing lap after lap losing a little bit of ground to James Silvers. A couple hundreds here and there. Eventually that's going to add up to a couple tenths, and Hutton just doesn't quite have the drive off at the 17. A little bit lower. He tags the wall there out of the exit of 4. Going to lose even more time that time around. Shutters and Heronas have caught up to the 87. This could be a battle for the 4th spot here shortly. Can they get up there and make a pass? This would solidify and probably guarantee that spot. Nick Mills has fallen all the way back to 12th. There you go in the update. It is mathematically possible, but Hutton looking pretty good. I think right now, with as far back as Mills going a lap down, Cofield having a terrible blinking issue tonight. Quite a few different drivers that have had a lot of heartbreak. This guy right here, though, he was worried coming into this race that if he could avoid the carnage, he's done it thus far. He's been up front. He led 66 laps. The bonus point for the fastest lap on the racetrack, and possibly the most laps led. 98 now. 99 as he crosses the stripe. Yusuf Ghali putting on a show. You are starting to see him fade out a little bit, though. AJ Stravado starting to catch up a little bit here. Last time by, he picked off 0.2 of a second. He's back on the surge. And Jonathan Cofield looks to have lost connection here in this race. He will put it behind the wall. That tightens up the points a little bit more again. Daniel Cunningham could come back out on the racetrack and pick up a couple positions. However, he is 43 laps down on pit road here. Servato pulls away, a full second now over Silvers. He's starting to shave away the lead a little bit. Golly, of course, has a big enough lead that he can afford to back up a little bit, but out of these last couple exits, Servato is picking up a 10th a lap. And I'm not quite sure if that's on purpose. I know that Yusuf Ghali really has only one speed, and it's go. Watch this turn exit wall as we ride on board with James Silvers, how close these drivers are getting. Hugging down to the apron. Sights and sounds here at Martinsville always good as we work lap traffic for second position. Nick Mills tags the outside wall. Servato gets clear. Now can go back to focusing on shaving a few tenths off a lap. But golly, in that window now, 77 laps, and he has made it to the mark that he needs to hit. He can make it to the end of this race with one pit stop. Who's going to be the first one to take it? Servato loses ground again last time by. We're talking about a 10th or two here and there that he gives back. Has a good exit one time, and then the next lap gives it back, and that's not the recipe to catch up to a driver, but golly, probably getting close to hitting pit road as he comes out and runs some of the best times that he has in a minute. Down to almost a 20.1 flat. Continuing to keep pace. So how far will these guys stretch the run? 81 laps on this stint. Servato and Silvers starting to come back together. 17. Has it back down to 7/10. Two laps down here for Farmer. Not the way he wants this race to be tonight. Up on the back bumper of the 44 gives him a little tag. Farmer actually has hit pit road already. There's one other driver that hit pit road. That's Brandon Holder about 5 laps ago. So paying close attention to what these drivers are doing. Can they short pit enough off the radar of Yusuf Ghali to take the lead over? Interesting to see how this all is going to shake out. Looks like a 2-tire only stop for Holder as well. Interested to see how this car is handling with only 2 tires on that last stop. 70 laps to go. Yusuf Ghali crosses the stripe here. Another car down pit road. That's Radburn Shutters. 17 of James Silvers into his stall. 4 tires. And fill it up with Sunoco race fuel. Get it back out on the racetrack. 2 tires only for the 17. This will probably force the hand of some other drivers here soon. Here comes Yusuf Ghali. Maybe a speeding penalty. He slides it in deep into the entry. I'll have to pay attention to this stop. This could decide the race win. Yusuf Ghali could have just made a mistake. Watching carefully here. Right sides go down, and it appears he's taking 4. And he will have a hold. Speeding on pit road for Yusuf Ghali. Maybe speeding for the 87 of Eric Hutton as well. He locked it up coming in. But this is going to put Yusuf Ghali a couple laps down. Did Hutton make the same mistake? Blake Hensley takes over the point. He'll get a lap led. Brandon Holder trying to get his lap back. The lap led now for Blake Hensley as he crosses the stripe. Checking in on Eric Hutton. Looks like he also... He's down and away here. Hutton gets 14.7. So he did not get a speeding penalty, but he elected to take 4 tires. Hensley's still out here, but he's holding up Brandon Holder a little bit here. James Silver's back out on the racetrack with his 2-tire stop. Is 5 seconds ahead of the 9. Oh, in contact with the 88. That's going to bring out a caution. Nick Mills gets turned. The 17 had had enough. And that resets the field. Blake Hensley was the leader. He had stayed out 86 laps. So the Whelen Modified 31 is going to be out here, and he's going to get to come down pit road. Wow. I gotta go back and hit the instant replay button here, but this is out of turn 4. 17 back to the throttle a little bit sooner. It's into the back of the 88. Of course, brings out our 9th caution of the night. You drivers electing to come back down pit road. Maybe get those left side tires on. Dave Farmer had not had a good stint there. He pitted a little bit earlier than everyone else, so now he'll come down and get 4 fresh ones. The rest of this field is going to be on pretty much 4 fresh tires. Nick Mills down pit road as well. He had stretched that run out as far as the eye could see, but he was able to get back on the lead lap with that. Brandon Holder is going to come down pit road as well. So with a mistake made by Yusuf Ghali, he will not get his lap back here. He's 2 laps down now. First car a lap down will get the lucky dog position, the 15 of Matt Grenier. I'm really not supposed to call it that, I guess, but the copyright infringement's sake. The lucky pass, as it's come to be known as. And the 17 of James Silvers will have to get an EOL after that incident. Don't go anywhere here. We've still got a lot of racing left to do. We'll have about 50 laps to go here on VSPEED. You're watching the Overtake iRacing League Cup Series live in Martinsville. More coverage continues right after this. here live at Martinsville, lap 193. Blake Hensley with a lot of damage on the front end of that machine. Well, he finds himself in the lead here on lap 194 to take the green flag. Here we go back into the restart zone. Green flag is back out. We're back underway at Martinsville. How about that, Hensley? With the damage on this machine, missing the front bumper entirely. Gonna try to pull away from the rest of this field. Clean air is king. There he pulls away. 0.8 of a second now. Hensley gets further and further out. Side by side back here with Radburn Shutters on the outside of Eric Hutton. Nick Mills has recovered back in front of the 44. So this resets everything we were talking about earlier. Yusuf Ghali got one of his laps back. Lock up there by Mills. Mistakes were made by the 88. He's going to lock it up again. Way up to the outside here for the 88 car. He loses 3 positions, now 4. Angelo Huronis to the inside. Quite a few cars get by. Mills falls back to 7th spot. Silver's to the inside after that EOL. Blake Hensley, still your leader. He has led 10 laps, now 11. With a heavily damaged front end. Trying to get the victory here. Can he take the 31 machine to victory lane? With all that damage, tags the apron. He had problems with that last night. Does it again. The 84 of Dave Farmer is technically a lap down. So AJ Stravato, the next car for position. 1.2 seconds back, and we have problems with Nick Mills again. Out of turn 4. Looks to be another self-spin, but we'll take a look at it. No help there from the 88. He just got loose on his own. Tag that apron a little bit. Brings out another caution. 10 here tonight with 8 lead changes. Blake Hensley loving what he's seeing, but Farmer's going to get his lap back. Yusuf Ghali will be the next car to get the free pass and put himself back up there. These cautions, and even though the mistake on pit road for the 45, he might be able to fight back and get back up here. Be the only car a lap down, and we have 4 DNFs from this race, 3 technically. Jonathan Cofield, Max Cost, and Daniel Cunningham. Actually 4 total, and then you had, I believe it was Drew Prail that elected not to start this race here tonight. Cody Anderson, the last car on this field, 158 laps down for the 42. Let's bring old Blake Hensley up here. What do you say? Blake Hensley, Bradley Cooper in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, big boy?
Hey, it sounds like that thing's handling okay, even with the chopped nose. Does that seem to be helping the tires cool off a little bit?
I don't know. I haven't got a chance to look at it, see what the damage looks like. I've heard it looks like a modified running around here. But,
yeah.
You know, Dale Jr. pulled off something like that a couple years, well, several years ago. So, I don't know. Maybe it is.
I mean, it looks good from right now. You had a heck of a lead there on Stravato, but unfortunately the guy that was going to kind of play mediator has got his lap back. So now it's just a matter, can you get that jump again? And we saw you last night. You were plenty fast, but it looked like the handling in the long run just started to fade away. Is this car handle similar to that, or you You got it underneath of you.
Yeah, I learned a lot of lessons from last night. Should have won that one, and that long green flag run we got there taught me a lot about the cars. So we'll try to pull off something here. You know, John Elway had the Mile High Miracle. Well, this is Blake Hensley and the Martinsville Hot Dog Hail Mary. So we'll see how it goes.
Hot dog Hail Mary. I like it. So good luck out there as we double back up. And I know you're good for it on the speed. We'll see if you put it all together. Talk to you post race.
Thank you much, Brad.
Under siege race driver Blake Hensley in the 31. Head back to go green. AJ Stravado, Radburn Shutters, Eric Hutton, and Angelo Horonis for the top 5. Matt Grenier, James Silvers, Nick Mills, Brandon Holder, Dave Farmer, and Yusuf Ghali, who is 1 lap down in 11th. One at a time today, that pace car's had to move out of the way. Let's see if we can finish this thing out. 45 laps to go from Martinsville. Green flag back underway. The modified car in the 31 holds on to the lead as they come out of turn 2. Not as good of a jump this time, but he did pull away a little bit on the exit. Car in the wall, that was Matt Grenier in the 15. As Nick Mills now to the inside. Almost this entire field back on the lead lap. After that shake-up with the pit cycle and the caution falling the way it did, Blake Hensley was out there the longest. He cycled out to the lead with only a handful of cars still on the lead lap. Gunners has moved back above the cut line. Mills has fallen back to ninth. Judders up to 3rd. No lock up there from the 31. Driving for his life. 42 to go. 42 more. Blake Hensley can find his way to victory lane. And caution flag is out. Where does this one fall? Matt Grenier is around. Saw that 15 struggle a little bit with handling. We'll watch coming out of turn 2. Oh, and the 17's around as well. It wasn't just the 15. James Silvers loses control out of the exit. A little short shift there from the 17 car. Matt Grenier kind of loses it. Not quite as severe, but Silvers dragging the front end, trying to get it turned back around. And that's another one. Silvers is going to elect to park it behind the wall now after he brings out another. That is a park for the 17 after bringing out 2 yellows. So another opportunity. We're going to interview the whole field tonight, I think, at some point. We haven't talked to AJ Stravado yet today. So I guess we're going to bring up the 33 machine, who's sitting in 2nd place right now. You led 1 lap today. You started in 10th, and we've said it a few times. You're one of the cars to beat here. It's just got the long run speed. Can we go green and get a victory for the 33 tonight?
I hope we can go green. That would be ideal. Although, I'll be honest, I'm not sure where we are on tires. I think the 31's got a little bit fresher tires, but I guess not having some front end on his car is helping him out a little bit. He's pretty quick, so. If we can get a green flag run right here, I like our shot, but it's going to be pretty tough with the 44 and 29 behind me. They've been pretty quick as well.
Yes, they have. Your pole sitter sitting right behind you, but AJ, you've been up in the top 3 pretty much all day. It's just a matter of these restarts and the timing. Good luck, man. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. It's these heat cycles start to wear these things out. It's going to get a little tougher each time.
Yeah, it will, but as long as we can survive, we'll be all right.
Right, AJ. Good luck out there, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
You're in Ritz, right?
Yep.
Right, 33 AJ Stravado. And we will get set back green. After our 11th caution, 12 times today for the pace car to be out here. And you know, those pace laps, we got the grid. We had 15 cars to start the evening, and we are down to 10 of them after James Silvers is behind the wall. Jonathan Cofield, Max Koss, Daniel Cunningham, and Cody Anderson all parked here tonight. 10 cars left here in Martinsville. It's starting to look a little bit like the Xfinity race as we dwindle this down. Green flag back out. 7 of these cars with spoilers that are in the playoffs. Contact back here with Grenier. Farmer gets to the door, 3 wide. Yusuf Ghali back on the lead lap, a block all the way down the back stretch. Ghali nowhere to go. Oh, and contact on the back of Farmer. That's going to bring out another yellow. No, it will not. It's staying green for now. And iRacing does not throw the caution. Servano's putting the pressure on the back of Hensley. For the lead. Farmer loses the lap because of that incident. We'll go back and watch that momentarily. The battle for the lead subsides momentarily. We'll go back and see this. This is with the 84 with the block, and then there's going to be contact coming out of the corner. And now we do have a yellow flag. Farmer looks like back on a live shot. Maybe got retaliation. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not quite sure where this happens. Oh, Yusuf Ghali got dumped. Uh-oh. Short track tempers coming out here. This is a teammate here. No, he just gets loose and loses it on his own. Some might call that short track karma for the 45. After the yellow didn't come out for Dave Farmer, and he will get his lap back. 45 of Ghali down pit road. Talked to Ghali pre-race. He said, I don't want to hit the button. Want to find the do not make him mad and get around this place quietly, but instead he just dumped gas on fireworks, and he's going to be back there with the same guy that he just got into, so maybe a reversal back here. What do you think, chat? We're going to see some more? I don't think we've seen the end of it just yet. Wayland Modified 31 has kept it up front here for the remainder of this race, but the pressure turned up to the max from the 33 of AJ Stravano. He was all over the back bumper there just before that yellow flew. Just talked to Stravano a moment ago. Good chance here on this restart. We'll have about 25 laps left when we go back green. Hensley just has to hold on. He does have fresher tires, but the 31 with that damage could start to suffer the older those tires get. Of course, Radburn Shutters in third might lock himself into the top 4, barring that Nick Mills does not find his way up there. He has 20 lap fresher tires than the cars in front of him, so there's a chance the 88 could work back up towards the back bumper of the 44. Things are about to get heated. They've already kicked up a few degrees, but for 25 laps left, we haven't seen anything yet. The pace car will move out of the way, and for 10 drivers, we get to see what Martinsville has to offer, and for 4, we will go to Nashville. Playoff race number 9 about to be settled. The tempers flare, the scores can be settled. Green flag is back out, we're underway. Long hold for the 31 into turn 1. That allows the 44 to the inside of the 33 of Stravado. This could pin them back long enough that Blake Hensley could run away with it. Big mix-ups here in the field. And Hensley, 25 laps left when he crosses the stripe. The hot dog Hail Mary that he called it earlier in the interview looks like it could happen. Task completed. Bradburn Shutters back up to second. He's going to try to go up here and win this race. Mills falls back to 8th. The 44 in the clear to make it. He will be part of the championship 4 if he can finish where he is. Loose for Stravado on a turn 4, Hutton to the outside. Here comes Yusuf Ghali back into the top 5. He darts to the inside of Hutton. Side by side down the back stretch. Yusuf Ghali trying to get up there and steal the win. Lock up on the brakes for the 33. Fritz Racing, 3rd through 5th. Side by side for 3rd. Now the pressure on the back of Radburn Shutters. Much fresher tires for Yusuf Ghali. But they will play defense here. Try to hold him off. Blake Hensley holding on to everything. With the front end gone on this car, it has to be handling poorly down these exits. But it's enough to keep to the bottom. He's sideways out of 2. He loses it and Shutters to the outside. Side by side for the lead. Comes out of turn 2 and just enough to clear. Diving deep into the corner for Shutters, way up the track. Now Yusuf Ghali on the back bumper. He loses the position. He's going to lose another 3-4 spots. And now it's Blake Hensley. Can he hold on? He has Yusuf Ghali on the back bumper. He defended 1. Can he defend 1 more? 20 to go. Ghali not able to get clear. Hasn't found the run. Good defense here by the 31. But for how much longer does Yusuf Ghali play back behind? He can make this pass anytime with the fresh tires. He took right sides that last time in. Shutters should lock in with Hutton. And contact into 3. Yusuf Ghali got into the back of Blake Hensley. Sends him around. Hensley blocks a little bit late there and going into turn 3. Comes across the nose. Back to the live shot. Yusuf Ghali takes over the point. Hensley falls back to 4th. Stravado and Hutton, 2nd and 3rd. 15 laps left in this race. Hensley into the wall out of 2. Trying to hold on, gets contact moved out of the way by the 44 of Shutters. Everyone starts to bully the 31 now. Hugging the inside, locks up the wheels, sends Farmer to the outside, back up front, coming up to 10 to go. 12 as they cross the stripe, and the lead getting chipped away a little bit. Last time by, Eric Hutton, a little bit slower than Stravado. Yusuf Ghali, the fastest car on the racetrack. 0.7 of a second. This is the short run that Stravado didn't want. The 45 able to get back up front there on the fresher tires. This is going to be a tough one. It's going to take a mistake from Yusuf Ghali to throw this thing away. Nick Mills out of the race. That officially will lock in the final 4. Good go with Shorts, Ghali, Hutton, and Shutters. But how many playoff points is the 45 going to have going into that final race? Can he get one more? Yellow flag is out. Blake Hensley around. You know this guy's probably not happy with how this all went down. Go back on the VSPEED instant replay. This is contact between him and looks like Dave Farmer. Let's back this up a little bit more coming out of turn 2. Everyone actually, it's going into turn 3 rather. Kind of the same thing that happened to him with Ghali. Just a late entry and chops the nose, gets into the front end of the car behind, and this is where short track racing, I tell you what, we haven't seen the end of it, is AJ Stravado came down pit road. He's going to get 4 fresh tires. We're going to have a shootout. Hensley's back up to 5th. I think he only took 2 on this stop. There's a couple 4-tire guys behind him. Stravado, Matt Grenier could end up with a top 5 finish here today. Shutters, he came down the pit but missed his box and will fall back to 8th, but he's pretty much guaranteed in because Nick Mills is out of this race. I think the 44 is still going to be okay. To get a full update on that. Holder into 2nd. He can get the win and advance, so it's not official yet. But I will say that Holder didn't come down pit road. I don't know. I don't know. Alex, it just made your job even harder. Not a clue here. Let's try to keep these guys locked in. The lights will stay on the pace car. We will have 5 laps left. When we go by the next time, it'll be 4 to go when we take the green. Remember, unlimited green-white checkers here in the Cup Series. If we get another caution before this race hits the white flag, we will extend it 3 laps. We can do that infinity, forever, until the session or the internet shut down. It's time to grab another cold one here, get a Martinsville hot dog, and get ready to go. 4 laps left when we take the green. This one's got the blood pumping for a lot of these guys. You can see the aggression, keeping these tires back up. AJ Stravado is going to try to get up front and steal away the victory. A lot of yellow spoilers that are just looking to get through here. Remember, Dave Farmer also in this hunt. He could win. I don't know. He's in this, correct? Let's look one more time at the points real quick before we go back green. Okay, no, he's forgotten to change his spoiler. Okay, never mind. All right, Holder's the only asterisk in this book right now. And he has a chance. On the outside, has to match this restart. Green flag's out. 4 to go. He's going to dive deep. Hutton moved out of the way. Angelo Horonis, 3 wide, off of turn 2. Hensley to the inside. Locks it up into turn 3. In front of Stravado. 3 laps to go. And Yusuf Ghali trying to run away. Can Brandon Holder send it into a corner and get to his back bumper? It's not looking likely. Deep into 3. 2 laps left. Car off the wall. That's Blake Hensley again. And we're going into overtime. Did Hensley have help this time? Looks like he might have. I got loose again. Right in front of Stravado, had nowhere to go. That is just the loose characteristics of this racetrack, trying to get back to the throttle. And that will bring out another yellow. 14 here today. 11 lead changes. Brandon Holder is going to get another chance to possibly move Yusuf Ghali out of the way. This is a must-win. If I'm Brandon Holder, I'm going to take my chances of getting, as soon as we get to turn 1, I'm going to hit the back of that 45 as hard as I can and try to move him up the racetrack. That's all you can do. How bad do you want it? I want to pull drivers up here, but this is just, I don't want to influence the outcome. I don't want to make any of these guys nervous. This could be a surprise victory that knocks Radburn Shutters out if Holder can get this win. I don't know. I don't know, fans. I would say that Holder doesn't have enough here, but I've seen crazier things, and it's going to have to happen on this restart. As soon as they go, Holder has to go. He can't afford to be on the outside. He's going to have to get to the back bumper of Ghali and wiggle him out of the way. That's the only way he gets by. He's got 30 lap old or 20 lap older tires than Yusuf Ghali. There's just no way that he has the speed. He has to go for essentially the kill shot here into turn 1. And I know that that's not what you want to hear if you're a fan of any of these guys, but that has to be the recipe. And I know Holder is a clean driver. He doesn't typically want to race like that, but this is his only chance. And for the Final Four, that's what you got to do. I mean, if you want to be there at Nashville, this is payday. This is the lunch program. You got to get up there and get it. So, I mean, we're looking right here, that Toyota logo on the back of the 45. That's about what you're aiming for here. So get back, doubled up for the first green-white checkered attempt of the night. I've all but lost my voice here at Martinsville tonight. The Overtake iRacing League Cup Series about to get their final 4 drivers. Who's it gonna be? Ghali, Holder, Hutton, Shutters. Here we go. Green flag back out, back underway. Didn't get the restart he wanted. Now has Farmer to the inside. Wiggles him up the racetrack. Farmer's going to try to go for something. No locking up of the brakes. White flag in the air. Off of turn 4. It's official now. Blake Hensley dives to the inside. throws another Hail Mary into turn 1. But Yusuf Ghali is pulling away. Farmer gets up to second. Holder falls back to third. And out of turn 4 for the final time as Servato dives in for third. Contact with Holder. They're sideways out of turn 4, and Yusuf Ghali gets the win at Martinsville. His second win in the playoffs. Well, I take that back. His 4th win total. Second win in this final round. Look at this dive by AJ Stravato. We're going to go back a full lap here. Here comes the white flag all over the back bumper of Dave Farmer. There's Holder on the outside. He didn't get done what he needed to get done and now gets pinned in a weird spot. Contact here out of the corner. He gets wiggled. Hensley loses it. Blocked down the backstretch. And a dive deep into the corner. And then Holder, Grenier, the 29 Horonis all spin out of control, and the 44 of Shutters just trying to put it in reverse and cross the line backwards. And it looks like Matt Grenier beat him to the line in reverse. What? There's a photo finish for the 6th spot. Matt Grenier finishes backwards. Oh boy. So there it is. Yusuf Ghali, Eric Hutton. Oh boy, we got a lot to unpack here. Should be the final 4 that we listed earlier in the chat with Schwartz, Ghali, Hutton, and Shutters into this final 4. But we have a top 3 to interview and bring up, and we'll talk to some of the other drivers. We'll bring in Shutters as well. You're watching the Overtake iRacing League live on VSPEED. More coverage is going to continue right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back live at Martinsville Speedway. Post-race interviews with your top three. We're going to bring a few of those playoff contenders as well. Of course, John Schwartz not making it here tonight, so he will be part of that Final Four. But Yusuf Ghali, Eric Hutton, John Schwartz, and Radburn Shutters are going to make it into that final round at Nashville. Final results coming up on your screen if I click the right button. 14 cautions and 11 lead changes here tonight. Ghali gets the win. Shutters gets the stage win. And then here it is for the top 10 with Dave Farmer and AJ Stravato. They get second and third. Eric Hutton fourth place here tonight. Angelo Horonis, Matt Grenier. There's Radburn Shutters in seventh. Brandon Holder in a must-win situation tonight. Had a chance at it there on that last restart. He falls back to eighth after getting contact. And I just want to say, Matt Grenier, great finish there in reverse. Blake Hensley is going to get ninth here tonight, trying the Hail Mary, hot dog Hail Mary, as he called it. Just couldn't hold on, started to get bullied there in that last 20 laps or so. Nick Mills will round out the top 10. Off the track there for the 88 as we go through the rest of your results. These cars all off the race after about 90 laps left in the race there for Cofield. Max Koss, he will be 126 down in 12th. Daniel Cunningham, an early exit. Cody Anderson, one of the first cars, and James Silvers parked for the night, but he had a black flag, which will put him back to 15th with the finish here. And then it's Drew Braille, who elected not to grid here today. So there's your final results up on the screen. That brings us to our third place finisher. Let's move AJ Stravato up into the broadcast booth. Third place here tonight, AJ. I know you wanted it bad. You went in and got 4 tires. I thought it would be enough there. But, I mean, you had a lot of traffic and a lot of old tires to get around. AJ Stravato, you got a copy? Well, it appears that we do not have contact with Stravato right yet, so we will move him back to the staging area. We'll move up to our second place finisher. That's Dave Farmer. He is in the staging area. Dave Farmer, I know you got a copy, buddy.
Yes, sir.
It just, I mean, this race just kept flip-flop, back and forth. We don't know the tires, the pits, the strategy, the tempers, guys getting into each other. It just, how did you avoid it to get a top 3 tonight?
I will say that a lot of that was luck. I mean, you nailed it with tempers flaring. There was a lot of that going on the last 50 laps of the race, and I took tires pretty late there and tried to work my way up, and luck had my back and helped me get moving forward.
Well, we go back to where you began this race in 6th position. You found yourself kind of running about 5th, 6th the whole race, kind of fell back early, back to 8th. Were you in tire save mode, or was it just the car's short run speed? What was going on there at the start of the race?
I think I probably overused the tires a little bit more than what I needed to. It got pretty tight, and anytime you got on the outside of a line, you were just falling back like a freight train. It was not fun on the outside. With fresh tires, you could make something work, but even if you were on the same lap count as tires, it was, if you got on the outside, you were falling back pretty quick.
Well, lastly, David, while I have you up here, I know that it's been a long season. I don't know if my trading paints is broken, but you know, you made that final 12, and then the final 8 you were just short of, and my trading paints keeps putting a yellow spoiler on here and confusing me. But
Yeah,
after
and
tonight,
funny enough, on my screen it had I had a completely different paint altogether. So obviously trading paints is having some issues. So I'll look to get that sorted before the championship race next week, and take some confusion out of your night.
yeah, well, it could be on my end too. I know that we've since broken this thing about 1,000 times. I'm just happy that it still runs iRacing at this point.
Hey,
Dave,
that's what
anybody
matters.
to shout out? Yeah, anybody to shout out here before we let it go?
Just everybody in OiL, being one of the co-owners here, it was, our inaugural season was amazing. Couldn't ask for better racing, really, overall, and looking forward to getting going on the next season and getting some stuff out there. So if anybody that's not racing with us and you're tuning in, be sure to check that out and listen and look on the Facebook page for updates to that. And thank you for doing the broadcast all the time. And just want to thank my family too. That I appreciate them and my wife give me the time and the ability to do this week to week. So it's been a fun season for sure.
Well, I think you should also appreciate that post-race fights chat. It is pretty full here after Martinsville, so good luck with
Yeah.
whatever comes of that, buddy.
Yep. That's where I'm headed right now. Appreciate it.
All right, enjoy. And that is Dave Farmer, driver the number 84. We're going to try again here with our third place finisher, see if AJ Stravato has came back, and we'll try one more time. AJ, you got a copy, buddy? Maybe some mic issues or contact, but yeah, AJ Stravato, just wanted to say that congratulations here in the top 3, and we'll see you next week there at Nashville, buddy. And sorry we're having some problems there, and I guess it could be on my end. I'm not entirely sure, but now we have our winner of the race, Yusuf Ghali, who we're gonna pull up into the broadcast booth. Yusuf, you didn't need him, but you got him. You got the win here tonight. Tempers definitely flared up. I know you were down there in the post-race fights. I hate to move you out of there because I know it was probably a little heated, but maybe we bailed you out here. You can explain your side of things.
I mean, I had fresher tires. I kind of cleaned them out. It's that simple. Like I went into the corner and I wouldn't say I overcooked it because I would have made that corner with that brake marker just because how much fresher my tires were and my car wasn't damaged like his was. But I just went in there a little too hard for how slow he was and kind of cleaned him out. It's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard for him to go much faster with a car with no front end. So I should have adjusted for that and not cleaned him out like that. But he's not too happy about it, and he doesn't have much to lose next week. So I don't know. I'm a little scared, but it is what it is.
Well, and you know, I never play bias. I'll never, you know, agree with one driver or another. But you know, from our perspective, yeah, the car does have damage on the 31, and of course, you had fresher tires, like you said. Coming in here tonight, you guys kind of on the same stint for a lot of this race, but after that stage break, it was so difficult to know what everyone was doing on different tire sets all the way through the field.
Yeah, I don't know. I always try to put myself like in the best spot for tires, like freshest tires. That's why pit coming to the stage with like 5 to go in the stage because I knew that I didn't have any points to race for, so I'd put myself in the best spot for tires. So that's kind of what got me the lead for that middle run. And then I thought I threw the race away by speeding, and I don't know. We got lucky, but at the same time, I'm almost wishing I had stayed in the back and not gotten into the 31 because then I wouldn't have to worry about intent wrecking next week. So I don't know. It's a win and a loss. I feel like it's kind of one of those things where you won the battle, but you might lose the war because of it.
Well, nonetheless, you are in the final 4 here tonight. You're going to go into Nashville with the lead in the points, and you'll have John Schwartz right next to you there. He'll be back for Nashville. Is there anybody that comes to mind before we let you go?
Just thank the admins there. There's a little bit of a scuffle with the rules there. I think they handled it right. Thank you guys for broadcasting. I guess it's just you tonight, so you had a bit of a workload with all the cautions and all the pit strategy. So thanks for that. And yeah, it's just a fun race overall. I think it's just I really didn't want to get into the 31 there.
Well, it sounded like you cleared up a little bit. Glad to hear you're feeling a little bit better, and I'm sure knowing that you're going into that final 4 helps a lot. And we'll send you back down where you came from here for post race. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yusuf Ghali, race winner here tonight. We got a couple drivers that we want to bring up here into the booth. First driver that comes to mind, Eric Hutton. He will have a playoff berth going into the final 4 for the 87 machine. And Eric, you know, coming into tonight, there was a chance that you could get one more teammate up there with Nick Mills, but it just fell short. But 3 of the top, well, rather, maybe I'm doing this math wrong, 2 out of the 4, I believe, are Ritz Racing drivers. Is that correct? 3. No, it's 3.
3, yeah, with me, Yusuf, and John. So yeah, 3.
So 3 out of the 4, you guys will be up there. And now, does this change things going into this final race? Are you guys gonna communicate the same way that you have all season, or are you gonna keep something in the back pocket for Nashville?
Well, I think strategy calls will probably be kept quiet in the team channel next week to where they really haven't all year. But besides that, I mean, we all race each other real clean. So hopefully we can race hard all together, and one of the three of us can get it.
Back to this race, we saw tempers. It seemed like the 87 was able to avoid a lot of that here tonight, but there was still some scuffles, I'm sure. Anything come to mind offhand that maybe you want to apologize for, or maybe you're upset about?
uh, I tried to keep it pretty clean. I don't think I screwed anyone up too bad. I know I gave Angelo a bad restart, but I already apologized to him, so we're good there. Just watched all the chaos happen, and I knew I was fairly good on points, and just wanted to finish the race. Hate it for Nick Mills. He had a good strategy going. Got put in a good spot with that caution. Just things didn't go his way. I know Radburn and him were up and back and just
Yeah,
through the field and everything. All of us really. So
yeah. I mean,
it's a good
it's
race.
it was kind of weird because I was getting updates and live from Alex Penn, and it seemed like every time there was a caution, Alex would have to recalculate everything and refigure it all out. But you were one of the consistents that, he was like, well, this should lock Eric in, but it was always a toss up between Mills and Shutters after the DNFs started to happen.
Yeah, I was just kind of trying to stay in my lane and just make it. So I wish could have got a few more wins this season, but finishing fifth or so, plus or minus a spot each week, is paid off so far.
Well, Eric, while we have you up here, going into Nashville, you got one race left. Anybody that you want to shout out?
Yeah, just everybody in our team channel. Shout out to Nick Mills, a tough loss this week, but he was fast all season. And shout out to John. We'll see him next week, and hopefully we have a good clean race. Hopefully a lot less drama than this race had. It was really good for about 200 laps, and then it kind of fell apart, which is typical of Martinsville. But I think Nashville is a good track. Hopefully we'll get a good setup, good weather, and it'll just be best man wins.
And for on that, buddy. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.
Derek Hutton in the 87. One last driver to bring up here before we let them all go. We have the driver of the 44 that we talked to during some of those cautions, and the 44 is locked in officially. Radburn Shutters. You point your way into the playoffs. Probably the most turbulent day that you had all season long. It was back and forth. Every restart, having to recalculate. What can I do? And then once Nick Mills was out of the picture, now you have Brandon Holder up there in second. What's going through your mind this whole time?
I don't know, man. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I got you. Got you loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, that was hectic. Just really keeping up with making sure that there wasn't gonna be a new winner, and making sure I stayed ahead of Nick. And once he was gone, I was really hoping Brandon could have something go his way. He could have snuck one in and took that spot. Old Brandon Holder, and that's what I pitted for that last time while everybody was wrecking that last 10 laps. I just took 4 tires and went to the back because it was out of my hands at that point, and sure wasn't going to be racing for the win. If anything, I was just going to be getting wrecked. So I went to the back and just kind of closed my eyes and hoped for the best. And it's not usually a good thing when somebody else wins the race, but it's a good thing that Yusuf won the race. We're in.
We're in. That's what it boils down to. The whole time you're just thinking, what can I do? But sometimes it's beyond your control. You kind of feel like the Browns in the playoffs. You're relying on a lot of other things to happen. Not to compare it, but it's just, it's one of those things that you can't do much about it. You just got to hope.
Yeah, we had our eyes on Cofield and Nick Mills, and I think Eric Hutton, he was well into the good. There was no way anybody was going to knock him out, I don't think. At least I wasn't anywhere near it. But Cofield, I don't know what happened to him. It was pretty early on when he dismissed, and that was just one off the list had to worry about. And then, I don't know what happened, but I don't know. I'm glad to have that one behind us. I was thinking after 150 laps, if this thing could just hurry up and get over with, that'd be great. Just barely walk around now. I'm sore after that one.
I just want to say you also got beat in reverse by Matt Grenier to the line. It was a photo finish. We put it up on the broadcast. Make sure you go back and watch that. But outside of that, Radburn, anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I've got to shout out Fanatec sequential shifter for not going into reverse for me to beat Matt. Great race there at the end, Matt. I was hammering it. It just wouldn't go into gear, man. I seen it coming. I seen Matt go by. I thought, man, there's a race within a race here, and I lost it. But got to thank my beautiful fiance for supporting these wild hobbies of ours. Let me see. Got to thank everybody for sticking around all season. We got one left. Hopefully we can put together a pretty decent field.
Got him for you. If you, I can throw him out there right off the bat if you want.
What's that?
I think I got Waynesville Tire, Function Junction Smoke Shop, GG's. What's the last one I'm missing here?
Waynesville Tire, GG's, MVD, Function Junction.
That's it. I've almost got it down, man. I've been rehearsing it too.
That's really good. I'm glad that you know it because I left my paper indoors.
I knew. I heard you on the phone, man. But hey, appreciate you sticking around here. I know it's a little bit late for you guys, and appreciate your time. Radburn Shutters, congratulations. We'll see you at Nashville.
Appreciate it, guys. We'll see you then.
So there it is, your top 4. It's gonna go in to Nashville Super Speedway 1 week from today. It was a fun one here tonight for the Overtake iRacing League Cup Series. The tempers flared. Post-race fights is going to be a popular place. We've got Golly. We've got Shutters. We've got Shorts. We've got Shutters. Get set for another one. 1 week left. For everybody at VSPEED, Adam Baker doing all the things in the background, making an awesome broadcast. Our other producers, Morgan Cook, Eddie Smith, Christian Hill, and Logan Threlkeld. This is Bradley Cooper telling you to have a great rest of your week. We'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock p.m. QSR in their chase for the Cup. Take care, everybody.